Hello, you beautiful, awesome people, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and pause this, or stop it, and let's go ahead and change the screen back to desktop. There we go. Alright, today's modern episode, we're going to change it a little bit different, because I've had a few viewers who've asked me, Chief, how do you download a mod off the internet, or off the workshop, and how do you make a local copy? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and men's and women's, we are going to learn how to do that. Now, I have taken last night, whenever I got home around 11 something last night, I took a little bit of time off camera and already got one prepared for you, and I'm going to show you how to do it and what information to get. I do apologize for not streaming yesterday around noon. Excuse me. I had some things come up yesterday that I had to go tend to and stuff like that. So I do apologize, folks, for not live streaming. I put on my posts and stuff like that on my community post on YouTube that I was going to be running a little bit late yesterday. And, well, I apologize, folks, because I never got here yesterday because it took longer than what I expected. Let me give me some hearts real quick. Ooh, look at them hearts. Yay. All right. And let's test chat real quick right here. Testing chat. Okay. Now, in the description of this video, you will find the links of two of my favorite mods. Well, one of them, and the other one's based off of, there we go. Chat looks like it's doing good. Awesome, beautiful. All right, so now we're ready to go. Okay, so most of y'all know how to work the Steam Workshop with Imperium or EGS. We're going to use EGS from here on out, guys. EGS is just short for Imperium Galactic Survival. So in order to find the workshop for those of y'all that are new to EGS, that's easy to do, okay? Let me kind of open that up a little bit. All right, so you'll bring your EGS up like this, okay? Then you'll have all this stuff. If it's installed, it'll say play. If it needs to be installed, it'll say install or not installed. And then you have these little tabs right here. One's store page, DLC, community hub, discussion, guides, workshop, and support. The tab that we're going to be interested in for y'all is the workshop tab. Okay? Awesome, beautiful, beautiful tabs. Look at that. All right, now you can thumb through here. I like to do most subscribed or most recent myself. Because the most subscribed tells you everything that you need to know. It's a good mod. Because if it wasn't a good mod, then, you know, it wouldn't be the most subscribed. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on along. Excuse me for just 1 second.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, I'm back. I apologize for that, folks. I had to take my little sniffle stuffies and all that stuff, and I didn't want y'all to hear me sniffing on it because it doesn't really sound appealing. Okay, so we're at the Steam Workshop page where all your mods and all of your stuff will be here to download. And you have you can download capital vessels, small vessels, hover vessels, bases, POIs, CV POIs, POIs, SVs, POIs, AVs, POI bases, and then we can also do scenarios or multiplayer scenarios, custom Terran base, space base, floating base, airtight base. I don't really select on any of those unless I'm going after something really specific. But for the most part, I don't. Okay, so this version of Reforged Eden is obsolete now. Vermilion and Ravion had moved to this one now. This, and you can still download it if that's what you want to do, but it's old, obsolete. They no longer work on it. They still support it if you have problems and all that stuff, but they also recommend that you go to Reforged Eden 2, which I don't blame them. So you'll need to have a specific number, and we're going to remember that number for later on. But let's go ahead and look at Reforged Eden, okay? Here's Reforged Eden 2 right here, which the links to both this mod, Reforged Eden 2, and let's go back here to home real quick. I'm going to show you my subscribed items because it's just a little bit easier for me to navigate. So I've got this other mod, Add Astra 2, which for those of y'all that don't know, if you follow Storm Falls, this is the mod that he plays on with his EGS game Let's Play series that he's got going on over on his channel. So definitely go over there and show him some love. Tell him that Chief sent you and everything good. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pull this mod up because this is actually the mod that we're going to be working on, and I'm going to show you how to make a local copy of this mod. All right. So what you want to do is you want to grab this number right here. You can do one of two things, okay? You can left click and notice it said copied. We're going to go right over here to our little notes section, our little new thing over here. And we're just going to scroll this all the way to the top. And then we're just going right here. We're just going to copy it, or Control V, which we're going to paste it, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to move our arrow key, our left arrow key back, and then we're just going to delete everything else. Whoa! I got a little excited there. Let's try that again. Because all we need is numbers, and I'm going to explain to you how in just a second. Okay? All right, now, that's very, very important right here. I'll minimize the numbers. So what I'll do is I'll just do that real quick for you. Okay. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. Excuse me. So that's the number that you're going to need, okay? Now we're going to need a references where the workshop installs mods. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up this folder right here because this is actually the Astra mod right here from the workshop, okay? I'm going to go up one. Let's change our thing to details. Okay. Okay, what are we doing here, Chief? I messed it all up. Let's go to this one. Alright. I'll get it here in just a second, guys. Okay. So, here we go. You'll need to go to your Steam library, Steam apps, workshop content. Now, what you can do, okay, you can absolutely go over here to your Imperium Galactic Survival thing. You can right click, left click, browse local files, okay, and that'll bring you up to where your local files with Steam. We can go ahead and get Steam out of the way. That'll bring up your local files to where Steam is installed, okay? But what we want to do is we want to find where are these files. So we want to go back to Common. We want to go back to Steam Apps. And so now we're looking in our Steam library, Steam Apps, which we'll go back one more time, y'all. Okay, this is your Steam directory. This is where your Steam library, Steam apps. Mine's a little different because I have Steam installed on 6 different hard drives. So mine looks a little bit different. So now you want to go into your local Steam workshop, and then you want to look at your content. Now this is where Steam installs every game that you have, every mod that you subscribe to off the Steam workshop. Okay. Now for Imperium Galactic Survival, the game specifically, all the mods goes into this folder right here, the 383120. I'm going to say that again. Every EGS mod goes into this folder right here, 383120. Okay, we're going to double click that. Now, if you remember that number that we got earlier, let me show you again so you'll remember. Let's go to our Steam. Let's bring up our library. Let's go to our Steam workshop. Let's expand that so it'll show you the tab right here, Steam workshop. Okay, find you a file, but it doesn't matter what file. Okay, just thumb through here real quick. Let's find that add Astra. Now I've loaded up Add Astra mod and just kind of gave it a test drive last night, and from what I can tell, it's basically a adaptation of Reforged Eden. Okay, now guys, I will say this: if you do this, I do not advocate and I do not suggest or recommend that you upload any changes that you've made without the modder's explicit permission to do so. Okay, because if you start taking other people's mods and you start changing them and then you re-upload them back up, that is absolutely disingenuous to the mod creators themselves. I will not upload any of these mods myself that I show you how to do, except for the ones that you know that I have started and created with you that we're currently working on. But this here was a little sidetrack today. Okay, so here's the Add Astra 2 mod that we were talking about earlier. So if you bring this up, you notice that there's a number right there, 34006775508. Okay, that's the number that you're going to want right there, and it's always a number. Okay, and if you notice, there's a whole bunch of folders. Those are what Steam assigns. Every mod gets its own number. Okay, so we're going to go back to this little number that we done right here. We're going to Control C, and we're going to copy that. Then we're going to go back over here, and then right here we're just going to put in, which as you can see I already done it last night, and then it's going to bring us to this folder right here. Okay, now we're going to hold off right there because that is the actual mod right there. Okay, then we're going to go back to our Steam Imperium Galactic game install directory. Okay, which that is this right here. Okay, that's what your Steam installation directory will look like. And once again, I'll show you how to go about getting to that. So go right here, go to your Imperium, right click, manage, browse local files, and it brings it up. Okay, now we're not quite done there just yet. What we want to do is we want to go into our content folder, and then we want to go into our scenario folders. Okay, now if you look right here, I already have modded AD Astra. Okay, what you want to do is you want to right click and create a new folder. Okay, when you do that, name it mod AD Astra -2. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and open that. As you can see, I already installed it. you want to go over here to this folder, and you want to double click that. Okay? Then all you want to do is just select all these bad boys right here, all these beautiful, lovely files right here that makes the game go. You want to right click, copy, then come over here. This folder should still be empty. Then you want to right click and you want to paste. And then your folder should look like that. We can go ahead and close this folder out now. Let's see, what other folder do we have open? We can go ahead and close that one out too. Yeah, we can go ahead and close this folder out also. Okay. So now your folder should look like this. Now, here's what you do. Write this preview JPJ, this preview.jpg. You open that in your GIMP program or whatever graphics program you have. You write across there, you install your alphabet thing, and you write on that picture right there, modded version local. Okay? For GIMP users, when you do that, all you have to do is come over here, and there'll be another layer on top of this one, and just right click on that layer, that new layer, and just left click merge down. That's it. Then come over here over the picture, right click on the file, and then come down here, overwrite preview.jpg, and that's it. You're done. That's in GIMP. I don't know about any other programs. Then we don't want to mess with the options file. Then over here in the descriptions, you'll pull that file up like that. Okay, and it'll look like this. Okay, do not mess with none of those characters because I have not quite learned exactly what those characters reference and does yet. Let's see, modem start a survival game and use console command, then restart game. I'm not sure exactly, that's instructions or whatever and all that stuff. But that gives you specific instructions and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. Played with mass volumes. I'm reading, guys, because I really didn't mess with this file or whatever. I didn't mess with this one just yet. Okay, so well, you really don't have to do anything in the descriptions file. That's fine. So, but anyhow, this file, the files that you want to mess with is in the content configuration files. Okay, there you go. There's all the files right there. The only files that you really should need is block config, item config, and templates config, just like our mod that we're working on right here. Okay. All right, now this file that I have open right here, this items config, this is the file that I have open right here because this is the only file that I messed with and played around with and all that stuff. And I'm going to show you what exactly I did in that file right there. Okay. And we'll load that up real quick. Okay, start game scenario, and then you look for this version right here. This is the Steam Workshop version right here. Okay, we don't want that one. We do not want that one. Okay, so always remember the little icon right here. What we want is the one that we named modded add Astra 2. Now you can publish this, but like I said, I speak out against publishing any mod from the Steam Workshop that you modify unless you have specific permission from the authors themselves, because we don't want to insult or step on their beautiful work. Okay, and there's a lot of authors that do not want you to reproduce their work. Okay, so we're going to name this game Live Stream Modded Add Astra 2. Okay. Alright, now you can go through here and you can select all your stuff that you want to do and so forth. The construction speed, let's make that fast. That could be instant. Difficulty, put those on easy. That could be whatever. I like to turn this to slow. I like to turn that off because, one, you're in a spacesuit, you shouldn't have that problem. But I like to kick that up to high, leave that on false. Block and limit for certain devices, yes, and yes, right there. Okay, that's how I like to play myself. Progression, fast, digression, I always turn that off because, well, I'm just being lazy. I don't like to repair my stuff, if I'm being honest with you. All right, we can click OK, and then you can select through all these things. Like I said, this, from what I can tell, is a Reforged Eden version of Ad Astra's, from what I can tell. You know, you can select whatever planet you want to start. So we'll just go ahead and start on Omicron, just for tutorial purposes. So while that's loading up, see why I say it's a Reforged Eden mod? Because there's a screen that says Reforged Eden, Ad Astra right over here. See that? So, all right, let me give me a sip of this coffee real quick, and it's butter pecan still. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so, and I'm going to show you what I did on the game, the mod, which is just one thing, which is your survival tool. Oh, we're crashing to the ground. Oh, there's the base right there, right off the bat. Okay, y'all know where we're going. Oh, there's another one right there. Okay. All right. So now let's now I'm going to decline that. Okay, because I'm a professional at this game. I'm going to turn this volume down just a little bit so it don't scream at y'all, because it's yelling in my ears right now. Okay. Oh, and also, whatever you do, if you live stream, turn the music off in this game. You will get a copyright strike. Not because they don't like you or nothing like that. It's because, well, there's something going on with the soundtrack in game in this thing. There's like a licensing error or something. But if you reach out to the music composer who made the soundtrack, he'll give you a copy of the music that you can play. All right, so you still have your survival drill, which is salvage mode, resource mode, and defense mode. Now, the defense mode is rapid auto fire. Okay, but let's pause this for just a second. What I done is I changed the rate of fire to 0.75. The range, I extended the range to at least 120 meters, 120 blocks in game. Then I reduced the damage to 70 from 90, which I'm going to go ahead and put that on 60. The recoil, I changed that to 4, so it gives you a little bit of recoil, makes it seem more realistic and stuff like that. Also, to add a little bit more difficulty, your file won't have this right here, the bullet spread 0.1 display false. What you do is for example, you come up here to another one. This here is the Legacy Dominator rifle. You can use that as an example. Come up here and you look where that's named in the file. In this case, it's right under camera shake bullet spread. So you just copy this right here. Control C, copy it, and then you come right under here, and then you put it right under here, camera shake, and then you just put it right there, Control V, okay, and then you just change whatever you want on it, and then Control Save, which I'm going to go ahead and undo it because well, shit, I done messed it all up. Alright, 0.1. Okay, but I'm not going to save it because I've already saved it and it's in the game. Alright, so that's, oh, if you're wondering how to pause it, just hit your pause break key on your keyboard and that will teach you how to pause the, that will pause the game for you. Okay, so now we have a little bit more of a fiery weapon, and it's got a little bit of recoil to it too. And if you look how the bullets bounce around the rock, they don't hit on target. Well, that's our bullet spread is what that is, and you can make it to where you can't hit the bronze side of a barn. Absolutely, it's to your liking. Now we're not going to sit here and play the game or nothing like that because, guys, we got modding to do. So, but we're just going to go over here and check this out because I'm curious, and I love going up to POIs in this game. And we might can see a little bit of we're on Omicron, ain't we? Interesting. They've changed the Omicrons from its anything in here that we need? Nope. Yep. No. Alright, so, like I said, you still have your salvage drill. Okay. You still have your resource drill, which you can dig up and stuff like that. But we just kind of gave your defense weapon a little bit of pizzazz to it. Alright, so there's nothing there, which is unusual. That is an interesting wreck right there. Let's just go over here and check this wreck out right here, and then we'll go ahead and get back to our normal streaming. Surprised there ain't something done try to come get me yet. Ah, here's a test subject right here. We're going to test subject these guys right here. See how powerful that is? I mean, it's powerful, but it's not powerful. You know, I actually kind of like the shape of this little doodad because it kind of reminds me of a little small what is that weapon called? It's Vesper, I think is what it's called, which is a real life firearm. The name is Vesper. King of the Hill, woohoo! We're King of the Hill. Alright, so there's that. So that's how you would do that with each and every mod, guys. Is you got to find the number. Where's it installed at? Then copy it over. You got to create your own folder, and then move it over and stuff like that. Okay, and it's really easy to do. But let's go ahead and go back to our regular mod that we was modding, and which one was it? Was it live stream help mod? Is that the one? I think that's the mod that we was working on. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this item config file so we don't get confused. Do I want to save it? No. Then I want to go over here and I want to find our live stream mod. There it is. I don't remember naming it help. Interesting. I guess I did because here's the files right here and it says right here where it's coming from, live stream help mod. Okay, well, all right. So, all right, now we're back to our modding that we had originally started that. But I just wanted to throw that little tutorial in there on how to create workshop mods from the workshop on your local. Like I said, do not add your mod to the Steam Workshop unless you have explicit permission from the mod authors themselves, okay? Because it's not ethical to go grab somebody else's project and then upload it to the Steam Workshop after you've made a few little attachments or whatever and uploaded their work to your workshop page without their permission. Because, well, guys, let's be fair, let's be honest. You know, let's not steal other people's property and all that stuff. But for your own personal use, that's how you would go about doing that. All right. Sip of coffee. All right. I don't remember exactly what we was working on in the last stream. Oh, yes, we was putting the drills, the mining drills on the saw. That's what we was doing. But trying to think of what was I wanting to do in the this episode, and I had an idea and list in my mind and all that stuff last night, but I done completely absolutely forgot since then there, because I wanted to put this information out there for you, the viewer, and I forgot what else I kind of got a little distracted. This is what it is. Let's see. What was we gonna do? Come on, Chief, you can remember. I think what we was going to do is we was going to go ahead and finish the placing these blocks. Let's see here. We was going to finish placing the HV blocks on the SV. I think that's what we're going to do, such as artillery and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. But what I also wanted to do is, look at my notes right here, I want to go ahead and take all this off of my notes so it doesn't confuse me. All right, perfect. All right, let's see. Got this survival tent constructor place at. Okay, that's what we was looking for. This line right here. Copy. And now we're going to go over here, and we're going to Control F for find. Then we're going to paste that in there, and then we're just going to go down the list. Okay. We can move this over here if we want to. Let's see. That is a capacitor. We don't need that. Cockpit. We don't need that. Control console. We don't need that. Fuel tank. Small mothership. Okay. Yeah. I remember that now. Let's see. Fuel tank. Small. That's the large one. And if you remember, we had changed the capacity on that one, the small one. We're going to change the capacity on the large one also. Okay, go ahead and, because the small one we made it from 1600 to 16,000, and then the larger one we made it from 2700 to 27,000. That's the large fuel tank for your capital vessels or your bases. So, you know, that way you have more fuel you can put in it and all that good stuff. Now, you absolutely can come over here and you can add in any type of fuel resources like 9mm bull if that's what you wanted to do, and it would take it as fuel. We're not going to do that. All right, so we're going to continue. This here is the small fuel tank. I think this is for the oh, we clicked the backwards button. My bad. Okay, I was wondering where we go with this. Okay, this is the console, a decorative block. This is the antenna. What is that? That is the oxygen tank. Yeah, that's oxygen tank. O2 capacity, we're going to change that to 20,000. And the reason we're doing that is because that, excuse me, I got to sneeze. Excuse me. All right. The reason we're changing that is that way you can get away with not having 10 fuel tanks, and you can just get away with a few fuel tanks and still have the capacity as if you was to install 10 fuel tanks and oxygen tanks. That way you can focus your build on other things and stuff like that. Now, Grant, if you share your blueprints to the Steam Workshop, make sure that you reference this mod, or your mod in your case, you know, saying, hey, in order for you to play with vessels or bases, you have to have this mod, otherwise you're going to have problems with fuel shortages or missing blocks and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind when you're modding, guys. All right, let's get that copy out of my way. Okay, so that's the constructor. Okay, now we absolutely can change that to build that on an SV or an HP. But if we did that, we would absolutely have to change the mass, okay, and the volume in order for us to do that. We might do that later. We'll come back to it, but that's not what we're looking for right now. What we're looking for is the food processor. That's going to be this bad boy right here. Because as of right now, I don't think that you have a food processor that you can install on the SV or HV. I don't think so. I guess today I'm just going to do nothing but sneeze today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change that to where we can place that on the SV. So we need to put us a comma right here. Alright, and then SS for small vessel, and then another comma, then GV, and we're going to just double check right here in our little thingy, okay? And we're going to make sure that this makes it base MS SS, and we're going to make sure that that's what that looks like, okay? Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save that. Okay, and then remember what I said earlier in previous episodes, we're going to mod one thing at a time, then we're going to test it on each individual basis. That way, you don't do like I did whenever I first started playing and modding this game. You don't have a bunch of broke stuff, and then you don't remember what all you done, so you can't go and undo the process. Okay? The struggle's real, I'm telling you. And each one of these files has like 40,000 lines of code, and when you go through there and you're modding a couple of dozen or more sections, and you get one character off or one space off, the game's like wigging out because it doesn't know what to do with that stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and add our God mode on, our item mode on, and our spawn blueprints on. Okay. As you can see, this is our test mod right here. This is from last test mod and all that. See how this here, our little SV. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring this little bad boy back out. I really did just jump out the vehicle. I was trying to hold the O key out, and somehow or another I hit the jump out of the vehicle key. So we're going to bring this bad boy out because this is our little guinea pig. Okay. Let's see. Where is our base thing? It is. There it is. That's where all of our other stuff is. Okay. Oh yeah, this is our practice dart. Okay, so we didn't fix that. Alright, let's plop down. Oh shit. We're gonna fall off the side of the mountain. I wasn't on the mountain enough. My bad. Alright, there we go. Alright, now let's end this. Alright, perfect. Okay. Let's go to our H. And I think our food processor was in our base and capital vessel. Let's see. There we go. Food processor. Perfect. Now, we can't put it on here. Why is that? Okay. Well, if you remember like last time, it's because we forgot something. What did we forget? Okay, so let's go ahead and exit out. Okay. And in order to find what we forgot, this is what we're going to have to do. Okay. That's the blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to find food processor. Okay. Alright, currently used in game. That's this little section right here. Notice how this right here, allow placing at, is different. So we want to just double check, double check, more check, check, double check. Okay. Alright, where's it at? There it is. Alright, so we're going to untick that one, and then we're going to type in our comma, SS, comma, GV. Okay. And now we're going to find any more food processing. We don't want to go backwards. We done been that way. Okay. Talon food processor. That's Talon. Alright, perfect. Alright, now we want to go over here to our item config, and we just go ahead and just click that. We have 0 matches that direction. Let's go backwards. We have 0 matches in that direction, but something tells me that we got a food processor in here somewhere. So let's go ahead and control F. Sometimes that gets wonky. Alright, so it is not in our items config, which is interesting. Alright, let's go backwards. Alright, here's our food processor right here. Okay. Alright, now, if you remember, when we had first started mod, I had told you to go ahead and copy this right here, okay, this is construction, your constructor for your suit. This is your portable constructor. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this right here. We're going to Control C to copy that. Then we're going to go right there between the quotation marks and the base, and we're going to Control V, and then it's going to look like that. Then we're going to put our comma down right there. Okay, that's all we want to do right there. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and Control Save that. Let's grab that name right there, and let's see if we can find that name in the items, because it should be in the items also, and for whatever reason it's not, which is interesting. But let's double check over here and make sure that everything is the way we want it to be. Okay. Alright, so apparently everything's good. It's not nothing else. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in our game and let's see if that absolutely works to where we can build a food processor on our HVs or our other stuffs. Okay. Get a sip of this coffee while EGS sorts its life out. Good stuff. All right. So, item menu, God mode, spawn blueprints. All right. So, if you look, if we type in food processor, up until now, you could only build one style food processor, as well as it only goes for bases and SVs. Well, now we changed it to where we can put it on not only our bases but our SVs now. See, look at there. Let's see. Let's throw it on this beast right here. Okay, there we go. Ain't it so cute and cuddly? Look at there. There's our little food processor. So now we have a fridge. So now let's go back to our item menu and let's go to our foods. Let's see. Let's grab a couple of. Shit, I just ate that. I can't believe I just ate that. It happened, guys. All right. Let's grab a couple of steaks. Some milk. We can go ahead and get rid of those blocks. Some. I don't think we need spoiled food. Let's grab that. So you need. What do you need to make? I don't know what you need to make. Let's see here. What are we missing here? Oh, you know what? This there we go. All right, there's that. There's that. What are we missing? Oh, we're in the wrong section. Haha. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we need? Oh, and fish is definitely a thing, guys. Fish is absolutely a thing. I'll show y'all that here in a second. Huh. Interesting. Where is the wheat? All right, flour. grain. Ah, there we go. Here's some grain. Veggie. Alright, we'll start with that. Alright, so let's look at a little food processor. Let's go to our little refrigerator. Okay, we'll throw this stuff in there. Just like so. Alright, we can go ahead and get that out of our hand. Alright, so now we can make cheese, or whatever. Oh, we got to turn our food processor stuffy on. Some fried vegetables, some cereals, what not have you. Okay, so we'll turn that on, and see, it's cooking now. Okay, I forgot, did we, okay, so we didn't change that right there. On this one, which I'll go in and I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Oops, sorry. Alright, see? It just made us some food. How cool is that? I know, right? It's crazy. So let's go ahead and go and change our survival tool thingy around. Okay. So let's go ahead and change that around, and that's going to be in our items file. Or items config file. Okay. Alright, now let's go ahead and control F. We know we're going after survival tool. Stop going backwards, Chief. There we go. Alright, survival tool right here. Okay. But you know what? Before I do that, what I want to do is I want to show you all a little trick. I'm going to control copy that, okay? Actually, I'm going to control copy those right there, okay? Before we get excited on this bad boy right here, we're going to go all the way back up here. Then we're going to scroll down just a little bit. Players, that's the melee weapon, flashlight, pistol, okay? So what I want to do is right here, I want to comment that out. And then I want to paste all that stuff. Okay, so I don't need the material line. I don't need that line. I don't need the pickup to toolbar. I don't need those two lines. Okay. We're going to leave that just like that. Let me just double check. Okay. Alright. Now, what I want to also do is I want to hit enter. And then I want to enter this line right here. Custom icon. Just like right here. Okay. Colon, space. And then I want to take this little section right here. Control, paste. Okay, now, before we get all excited, I want to take and control find that. Okay, just to make sure that we done it correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this line right here. We're going to bring it over here to our other little set of codes because it's not really an easy code that they gave you. Okay. And then we're going to indicate this. icon of your choice. Okay, perfect. Now, with that being said, I already know what's going to happen when we load this in, but I'm going to let you see it for yourself. Okay, that way you know, and when you come across this yourself, and you will, there it is. There's the pistol. Let's go ahead and grab that. We're using the pistol because, well, truth be told, the in-game pistol looks ugly as sin. So, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, we're just there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Perfect. Oh, come on, there you go. Oh, come on. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and save this. Okay, now this is where, like I said, you want to definitely work on one thing at a time, because when you start doing this, if you have one of the characters, whether it's a space or a colon where there should be a period, or a period where there should be a comma or whatever, that's when you'll start finding out some stuff, okay? Because if it's wrong, it'll come up an error right here. If y'all remember in the last episode, or the episode before last, we had an error and we was able to fix it because something just wasn't right. And the game was like wigging out, like, hey, you know. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hit F3. Weapons. Let's go ahead and unlock. Well, actually, we should have the pistol already unlocked. Okay, yeah, there it is. Projectile pistol. Yep, see? Right there. See the icon? See how it's the pistol? So we can build that in, what do we need to build that in? A portable constructor, I think, isn't it? Let's see, I know we got a portable constructor somewhere around here. What did we put it on? Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see, weapons. Here's our little projectile pistol. Notice it says projectile pistol. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and item menu. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get some of that, some of that, some of that, and gotta have the fibers. Really? You're hungry? You're hungry, dude? He acted like he's starving to death, folks. I know, it's so hard. We'll need some of that. Let's see. Oh, well, I got more problems than just that. Let's God mode. Okay. Let's go to our item menu. Let's go to our first aid. I don't know what all's what, so we're just going to take it off. Alright, let's go to our food. Alright. Anything else? Perfect. Alright, now let's put all that stuff in there. Alright, let's go ahead and build that bad boy. A couple of those. Okay, like I said, I know what's going to happen, but I'm going to let you experience that. Let's get all this stuff out of my pockets so I don't weigh 10 tons. Okay. Alright. So we got our little laser thingy. We got our little self-defense drill. And then we got our salvage drill. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the grass. I don't like the grass long around my work area. Alright, we're just killing time while this thing cooks over here. Alright, almost done. Almost done. Perfect. Okay. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool. Alright. We'll get a little bit of bullets. Well, I thought I heard something sneaking up on me. Okay. Got some bullets? Perfect. Alright, here we go. You ready? Like I said, I know what's going to happen, but I'm going to show y'all that way you know. Oh my God, Chief, what's happening? What's happening? I'm fixing to show you why if you edit your file and it looks like that and it's like, oh my God, it ain't right. Well, this is why, okay? Because this is a rifle style platform. Okay, you need to look up here, okay, and you need to get this right here. We're going to copy this over here to our little notes, okay. We'll go ahead and move that over just a little bit. All right, and now we're going to go to right here. Come on, move over. All right, now we're going to go, where are you at, where are you at, where are you at? Give me a second, guys, I gotta find it. Right here, hold type. Okay, if you notice it says 14, you look over here, it says hold type 14. Well, that's a pistol. So what we're going to do, just for mod tutorial, we're going to start from the bottom up to show you the different hold types. We're going to go with 20, which is this one. Okay, we're going to save that. And then we're going to go ahead and load it up, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. That way you have a little bit of experience of what the different hold types are. And basically you just run through those hold types and make it work for you, okay? Whichever one that you feel comfortable with. You may very well like that one, don't know, don't know. Okay. Let's get a sip of this coffee right here real quick. Alright. Now if you notice, it looks like, well, where did our crosshairs go? Alright, so we got our weapon, but where's our crosshairs? Okay. Well, let's go find our crosshairs. I'm fixing to show you where those are at. How do you implement crosshairs? Okay. That's easy to do. Real easy to do. Alright, so now we maximize our little thingy down here. You go down here where it says red dot true, you uncomment that. Okay, just like that. That's it. Now, when you do it, it will have your red crosshairs. So now what we want to do is we want to look at some other stuff. All right. We don't really want to have camera shake. Bullet spread, we want to have that 1. Remember, on our other thing, damage 64, that's fine. Recoil 3, that's fine. However, what we want to change is automatic. We want to set that to true. Okay, just like that. Okay, we want to click save, Control S to save. Okay. Give me just 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Let me put this on for y'all. I'll be right back.
Mic off.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to tend to a neighbor knocking on the door. So let me go ahead and pause that and bring y'all back over here to our live stream. I appreciate y'all's patience and understanding. All right, let me get all cozied back up again. Get my little keyboard and all that stuff. All right, so what we just did is we just took that little pistol and we made it into our own little thing. Okay, good talk. Absolutely good talk. All right. All right. So now, we got that bad boy done up like that. All right. So now when we zoom in, see, we're already out of bullets. Let's see. We got a machine somewhere around here building bullets. Yep, perfect. All right, so now our magazine holds 16 rounds. Okay. We can change all that. That's not a problem. We can change all that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. Now we go to our magazine, which ammo. Now this right here has 20 to 30 rounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our ammo capacity to 20. It's 20. All right, then we're going to change this to make it shoot a little bit faster. But now let's go to our hold type 17. Okay. And remember, that's up here in this little section right here. So we want to see what hold type 17 looks like also. Okay, now we're going to just go ahead and control save it. We've got our magazine, we've got a recoil, we've got our zoom with our little crosshair red dot sight thingy. Now, unfortunately, that weapon, because of how the model is and stuff like that, you don't get to look down the sights like you would a pistol, unfortunately. So with that being said, we're working with what we got. Okay, and if you modify any other weapons, it would do the same thing. If they don't have the position of the model, like if you look down, if you aim down your assault rifle your shotgun or your sniper rifle. Sniper rifle goes through the scope. It would bring the weapon into your where you could actually look down the sights and stuff like that. So that's hold position 17. Okay. So that ain't gonna get us either. We don't like that. So let's go to the next hold position. Okay. All right, now we've done 17, so let's look at 16. Let's see what 16 looks like for us, okay? We're going to Control S, and I'm showing you all these different hold positions. That way you know, you have an idea, a basic knowledge of what they look like and how they can look in game and stuff like that. And that's why we're going through this process and so forth. All right, now if you look, it looks like that. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Like I said, the model doesn't have to where on this particular mesh prefab, which that's what we changed out, which I'll show you real quick. If you remember, we changed it out from the actual pistol to the survival tool prefab right here. Well, this doesn't have to where in that prefab, and that's where the problem lies in this prefab right here is where you go into Unity editor, your favorite modeling program and stuff like that, and you tell it when you have this specific platform, hey, you do this, 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 and this when you aim down the sight. That's the problem with that. So now what we are going to do is we're going to experiment with something which I had noticed before. If you look right here, we're going to pull this up right here, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to see if we can implement that into our there we go. We're going to see if that right there changes some things, okay? But there you go. There's your weapon. 20 round magazine. All right. I was looking at the recoil. Okay. Now that that's officially loud and busting your eardrums, there you go. That's how you would do that. All right. But we're gonna see if we can't fill with some of these right here, because I just noticed that last night. Never thought nothing of it. So we're gonna throw that in with our pistol config right here, and we're gonna see if that changes, and it might absolutely give you a different perspective. So let's go ahead and save that and load that back up and see what that does. One of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to work or it's absolutely going to crash out. Don't know. We're going to find out. So, and once again, you know, modding is about experimentation, finding what works for you. And if you are modding somebody else's stuff off the Steam Workshop, don't upload it unless you have their permission to do so. Okay, guys? I cannot stress that enough. No modder likes their stuff being stolen from them. So, all right, now this should be interesting. Okay, so I don't see no different moves. All right. Okay, so that's how that looks when we're running. Okay, that's how that looks when we're jumping. And I haven't really noticed no change in that, but when we're running, it's doing that. So let's get a little extreme, and we're going to start changing some numbers. We're going to start experimenting for science. Okay, so run movement right there. So let's take this to this number right here, first set of numbers right here. We're going to take that to 35. Okay, and we're going to save that. We're going to see what that looks like in the game. Okay. Yeah. So it's either going to look really, really stupid or it's not. Don't know. We're fixing to find out. We are absolutely fixing to find out. And we might can find where it will actually allow us to aim down our weapons. Don't know. That would be under the aiming section, I would assume. Okay. All right, let's run. This is us walking. This is us walking. All right, so now we know that the larger that number is, we know that pushes the weapon further away from our body. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to put that to 0. Okay, we're going to save that. That's that first set of numbers right there. Okay, now we're going to see that should bring the weapon up closer to our bodies, like in our face type deal. Okay, so we're going to try and see, because with any luck we might absolutely find a happy medium to where when we aim down our sights, it'll change the like I said, I didn't know nothing about that until last night. I had came across it myself last night, and I was like, you know what, let's experiment with this today during our stream. So that's what we're doing. All right, so here's our aiming down. All right, here's our walking, here's our running. Okay, so that brought it closer to us. Okay, good deal. Now, I'm wondering if the last set of numbers doesn't lower the, talk about these numbers right here. So let's change these numbers, because that's the one we're at right there, run location. So let's take that and put that on a 30. We're changing it extremely. That way we notice a huge difference right off the bat, and we can add or take away from that number. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're doing this with every change. That way we can see what's in game. And guys, this is what goes on in the background of modding any game, whether it's Imperium Galactic Survival, Supermarket Simulator, Sins of Solar Empire 2. This is the process that every modder goes through. This is the unseen work that you, the viewer, unless you're modding yourself, you don't see this. Okay, so that moves it to the right. Okay, so I think we have an idea where it moves. All right, perfect. So let's do this. Let's change that number back down to 0. All right. Now let's make that number a negative number. This moves it in and out. This moves it left and right. This right here, I'm assuming, absolutely moves it up or down. That's what so we're going to work on this middle number now. But yeah, this is the process that you, the viewer, unless you make mods or you mod yourself, this is the hard work that you don't get to see behind the curtains. This is like this with Ravian's mod, any mod out there. This is the process right here. A lot of starting, stopping, testing, opening it up, and that's why it takes so long for mods. And I know there's a few you entitled folks out there that you're the type of person that has to have it done right then and there. That's not how the real world works, boo. Unfortunately, good things take time. It's just, it is what it is. All right, so that's walking. There we go. See how now we have that? All right, so how I'm liking that, how it drops it down. So now let's go back to that. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift it up just a little bit. Okay, the reason I have an idea about those coordinates is because of my work with Sins of the Solar Empire and modeling in my Studio 3ds Max, Autodesk 3ds Max. Let's make that a 10. Now let's focus on our rotation. So let's take that, the middle number, let's take that to a 1. Okay, we'll save that. And then we're going to go ahead and do that because you got a rotation where it tilts it up and down, clockwise, counterclockwise, and then back and so forth and all that stuff. So that's what the rotation is going to do. Okay, we just don't know which numbers are which. So we're going to try it out, and we're going to see what's what, because that's what we do. We try things out. All right, see how that rotated it out. All right, so what we want to do is we took that number down. So we want to go with 40 is 45. So let's take that number to let's take that number to 65. Now let's take this number right here to 10. Okay. And like I said, I don't know off the top of my head which one of these numbers does this, that, or whatever. However, what I do know is through modeling experience, my 3D modeling, I have an idea of what these numbers do to a model in reference to location, rotation, elevation, stuff like that. And that's what we're doing. We're learning together what these numbers actually do for you, the viewer. Okay, so what that means is that you can change. All right, I'm so far I'm liking that. Yeah, so far I'm liking that. However, let's lower that 1 down a little bit, which is I think it was the first one was 3. Let's put that to a 2, and then the 7. Let's do a negative for that 7 right there. Okay, let's try that. And like I said, we are on the running rotation because what we want to do is we want to kind of simulate when you're running with a real firearm. That's what we're looking for with this. Okay, to the best that Imperium lets us do. I should say it like that. All right, yeah, this is gonna be good stuff. All right. All right, so let's change that rotation number from a -7 to a +10 and try it one more again. Okay, so we're going to take that to a 10 and let's see what that does for us. That should rotate it back around-ish, maybe. If not, we'll put it back on 7 and call it good. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out, or we might have to take that -65 in the middle right there. We might have to make that like a -50 or something. I don't know, but like I said, we're learning this together and seeing what it does. It's all part of the modding process, guys. And welcome to the stream, all the new viewers and stuff like that. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions or even some tips, definitely throw them in the comment field below. All right, so now we're running, okay, and we can aim down. See, we can still do all that stuff. All right. I think that's going to be pretty good for right now. But before we do, let's change that to a 20. Okay, 20. All right, now our aiming, what do we want to do? I think we remember that this right here moved it left and right on our location right here. Let's change that to a 5 right there. So we're on this line now, aiming location. Okay. And with any luck, that will bring the weapon over. When you aim down, it'll aim down with looking down the sights. And we absolutely can do that. Because if you remember, when we aimed, it didn't do nothing, but just kind of zoomed in a little bit. So that's what we're working on right there. And if that's the case, then guys, we'll know how to do this. And you can do this with any other weapon that you see fit in the game. All right. Let's get over here out of the grass. Back over here to our buildings. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to see this? Here we go. All right. Aim. All right. So that took it to the right. So now what we want to do is we want to put a negative in front of that number we just manipulated. Okay. So now we want to make that a negative. That's going to bring it from the right to the left. All right, now what we want to do is we want to work on our rotation. Let's make that a 0. Make that a 0. And make that a 0. Okay, we're going to 0 all those out. Now we're getting a little brave. We're moving things around more aggressively because now we're wanting to try to speed up this whole daunting process of what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? Okay. Once again, guys, that's what modding is all about. Trial, error, experimentation, learning, taking notes if need be, and stuff like that. That's just what all this is about. All right, let's see here. I'm curious what this is going to look like. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Well, shit, if you're left-handed, there you go. Absolutely. All right, so we need to... That's... All right. We're looking at the numbers, so let's go ahead and change that back down. We're going to put the aiming location. We're going to make that a -1. All right, rotation. We're going to change that to a 1 also, and see what that does for us. So now we done spiffed up our modding technique. Now we're doing 2 numbers at once, and we're seeing what we got. So there you go. And like I said, and then once we get this done, if we have time in the stream today, I will show you how to change the survival tool into another platform versus that. And I thought about using the there we go. There we go. See, guys, look at there. Okay, so we need a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. So let's go ahead and go 1. Let's go ahead and go. Let's see. 0.5. Let's change that to 0.2. Let's see what those do, and if we can get that to line up where it's straight up and down, then we'll mess with these numbers right here. Okay, so we're getting closer. So there's a start right there, guys. We're getting closer and bringing, whenever we aim down our weapon, we're getting closer to the center line of the weapon, and then we'll just have to rotate the barrel down, the stock up like that. That would be the other two rotation positions, as well as the elevation on the center of the other. Because we figured out what those do in the first time. All right, so that's a little too much. Okay, not a problem. So now what we want to do is we want to change one of the two numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and change our rotation back to 1, or not our rotation, but our location. Let's go ahead and change that. Actually, you know what? Let's put that 0. No negative, no nothing, just 0. And let's see what that does. Okay, because I think we're on to something right here. Because now we just need to rotate the weapon around from just spraying and praying position. Those y'all that play a lot of shooter games, you understand what that term means. To and aiming down your sight. So that's what we're working on. So that would involve just the rotation and maybe a little bit of elevation. Okay. So let's see what that one does. All right, so that changed that back to that. Okay. So now let's just focus on the rotation aspect of it. So we're going to get a little aggressive with our rotation, which is this line right here. So let's take and make that say a 5, so we can see exactly what that is going to look like. Okay. And that might be perfect. Don't know. We're going to try it and see, because that's what we do. We mod, we experiment, we try it out. Because that's just what we do. Okay. Load the game. All right. Then the reason we get aggressive with the things, that way we can tell a noticeable difference. Because if you do a little bit here at a time. All right, so if you notice, the tip of the barrel is actually going down. So we don't want that. So that's what that is actually doing. Is it's making the barrel go down. So we will put that back at 0, 0, 0.0. Then we'll go over here and we'll make that a 5. Okay. This is a lot easier to do it in the actual mod program. But if you don't have the money for the mod programs and stuff like that, this is another way that you can do it. Remember, guys, whenever I show you how to mod, I like cheap, cheesy, and free tools that you easily can download and use yourself. So if you have any comments or questions, definitely don't hesitate to ask. All right. Now, let's see what it does. All right. Notice the barrel is rotating. Okay, so now we're on to something. Now we're on to something. So now what we're going to do is, you remember that other number at the top, the position, this guy right here, we're going to go ahead and make that a 1 again. Okay, because now we're starting to rotate this platform how we need it. Okay. Now that we have a little bit more understanding on the positioning, the aiming, the moving, and stuff like that, and we can absolutely fine-tune and finesse it to where it's almost, if not perfect. And this, guys, this is how you would go about doing this yourself. And there's absolutely a lot of load the game up, look at it, go back out of it, make some adjustments, and you'll do this 1,000 times, if not more, guys. All right, so that brings that back. Okay. We don't want to bring that back. What we want to do is we want to, I think it was a negative number, if I remember correctly. So let's make that a negative number again. If I remember correctly, I think it was a negative number. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out. Trial and error, folks. Trial and error. Then this is all the process of learning how to mod. Some people can pick it up very easily. Some people absolutely will never grasp it. It's not because they're dumb or stupid or retarded. Some people they just can't understand it. Like I said, and then there's those that I just want to learn how to change my weapons and make them more powerful. That's fine. These videos are definitely for you. All right, let's see what we look like. All right, so what we need to do is we need to go with we need to let's see, 0.01. We don't want 0.2, so what we want is we want 0. Wait, let me think real quick. Actually, 1.2. Okay, and then let's take that to a 0.5. Okay, because now we're doing small increments. Control save. There we go. We're doing small increments to move it a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there, and seeing what they do. But we are getting closer with each adjustment. We're steadily getting closer, and we're learning. Uh-oh, so I did something. All right. I know I did something. So what did I do? Well, there's that. Okay. It didn't like something that we did. So what did we done? Let's go look at our coding real quick and see what we done. All right, what did we do? All right, that is that. That is that. That is that. So it may not like this whole deal right here. Let's change that into a negative number. It may not like this whole, but yeah, it's got a number up there. So yeah. Da 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 da. Let's make that a 3. Let's do that. All right, that's negative. That's negative. So it should work actually. Should not be no errors. I'm just double checking to make sure there is no errors and make sure that the spacing is correct, because it shouldn't have errored out unless I had the model too far out of the range that the game recognizes it to be valid, which that absolutely can happen too. And that absolutely is a thing, and it absolutely can happen whenever you have the model adjusted. Huh. Okay. Let's just go ahead and load it and see. Why do I keep crashing on the ground like, seriously? Alright, let's... Okay, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work at all. Alright, so, let's... we done something wrong, and we're getting that error. So let's take this number out. Let's go ahead and zoom in so we can just double check our stuff. Make sure that the spaces are where they need to be. Let's make that a 1. No space, no space, no space, no space, no space. All right. I'm not sure why it would be coming up an error. It may be because we had 2 numbers in that column, and the game engine might say, nope, we don't need 2 numbers in that column. Is that a thing? Absolutely, it can absolutely be a thing. It absolutely can be a thing. Which I'll show you how to continue. Thank you. All right. So that let's try putting a 2 there. But before we get excited on that, let's go over here. Let's back up to our Galactic Survival, our log files. Okay, which would be in this folder right here. And then just go here and then separate or do date. So that would be this one right here. Okay, this would be our log file right here. Okay, and it will tell you Direct 3D detected that VSync is broken, does not frame rate properly. Through here. So that's what it is it's finding a problem with the mapping. That's what it is saying, hey, this shit ain't right. Okay, so no problems, no problem. It's like I said, we were out of bounds with the 3D model versus what the game recognizes as proper doodaddys. Okay, so that's all it is. Yep, that's it. That's all. It's just the 3D mapping. Yep, that's what it is. So no worries. It's nothing catastrophic. We absolutely can still continue with what we're doing. All right. So let's continue what we're doing. Let's see here. Let's take the negative number from there. Okay, and let's see what that does. We're going to get this. If not, I'll work on it more off camera and stuff like that. And then whenever I get it all figured out, then, I'll come back and show you. And I'll show you the numbers. All right, let's go ahead and continue, because now that we know that it's just because we're playing with these numbers and the game's like, hey, stop doing that. Really? So there's our running position. All right, so there's that. All right. All right, let's change this number to a 2. Okay. And see what that does for us. And like I said, guys, this is how you would go through this process on your own mods as far as weapons placements and stuff like that. However, you would be able to have it better if you all right, so that zooms it in actually. So let's go ahead and reduce that back to a let's take that to a 117. All right, let's take this to a 5 and see what that does. Okay. I think the center number lifts it up, down type deal. Okay. Like I said, the error, we know that because we're messing with the model, it's going to wig out on us. We already looked at that, figured it out, and that's what it's doing. So, well, you know, it is what it is. Okay. That's way, way high. All right, so let's take that down to a one. I'm trying to think of the numbers in my head on how to calculate it. Let's take that to a 1. Yeah, let's try that one. That's way too high. Let's move that to a 1, 2. Oh shit! I know what the problem is. You see that? We have 2. Aim and location, aim and location. Alright. I did not realize that I'd done that. I just happened to look up and was like, wait a minute, there's 3 aiming lines there. Okay, guys, so we fixed it. It ain't gonna air out on us now. Now watch it just be all shit. It might be perfect. Don't know. We'll find out. Wow. Why didn't y'all let me know in the comment section that I had 3 lines of that? Because, Chief, you're supposed to be the ones teaching us how to do this. Sorry, guys. That's what I'm saying. You know, you got to pay attention, test, trial, and stuff like that. But it was still letting us adjust it. It was fighting with it, but all right. Okay, that is absolutely. We're getting better. So, what we're going to do now is, I got to look at the lines again because I done forgot the numbers. All right, so 1, 5. So let's take that and change that to a 0. Let's change that to a 3. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I didn't put no other lines in there. Rookie mistake. Come on, Chief, get it together. You know what? While that's loading up, guys, come on over here with me. We're going to get some more coffee. We're going to get a refill while that's doing its thing. And we're going to change it up from the butter pecan. We're going to go with the Italian Irish cream is what we're going to make this cup of coffee as and all that stuff. So, give me just a second because I got a fresh pot of coffee that I made just for this live stream. I'm trying to make my live streams a lot more longer and dull and boring for you because, you know, I understand that you have all kinds of stuff in your life that you would like to be doing and all that. So that's why I'm choosing to make these long, drawn out, boring videos and all that. Actually, I'm making them this long in my hopes of making them these long because I like to over-explain things. Because in my mind, I would rather over-explain things and make sure that you understand it properly so you don't make a rookie mistake like what I just did, which I know better. You know, I've been modding since 2000. Right, Italians, I lied to you guys. It's Italian sweet cream. My bad. But even though I've been modding since 2000, that's 26 years, folks, that I've been modding. And even today, I still make mistakes. So if a 26-year-old veteran of modding makes mistakes, I can assure you, you will absolutely make mistakes. There's nobody out there that does not make mistakes. We all do. It's just all, when we make a mistake, what do we do when we do? Do we pick ourselves up and continue going, laughing and smiling and carrying on like what I'm doing, laughing at myself? Because it's like, Chief, you know better. You tighten your shit up, sir. Well, or we can let it frustrate us and we quit. I just soon pick myself up, dust myself off, yell at myself for being goofy, get a cup of coffee, and go back to modding like nothing ever happened. Y'all saw nothing. Ugh. That Irish sweet cream, that is absolutely good. I gotta get another swig of that real quick. Oh yeah. Try to load up the game and drink coffee at the same time. The struggle's real, man, but it's a good struggle. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, by the way, the boy, he says hi. For y'all that don't know who the boy is, that's my medical service animal, Booker. He's a blonde little boxer terrier mix. He's over there just chilling in his little bed. All right, let's see what we are looking at on this thing. Oh, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Oh, looky there. We're getting there. We are absolutely getting there. So now we need to rotate the barrel, the front of the barrel, counterclockwise. That will be this bad boy right here. Let's change the center number, put that at a 5, and see what that does for us. Let's try not to make a mistake that we made earlier. So we're getting there. We are absolutely getting there. Huge difference. Yes, I'm excited. Because now we can take and we can copy this to our other weapons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Okay. If we want to change weapons, like I don't like the in-game pistol. I certainly don't like the in-game sniper rifles because I think, if I'm to be honest with you guys, the model of them is dorky as shit. All right, let's give that a little bit more of an aggressive turn because I'm not quite sure exactly where that's going. So let's put that on a 6.5 and see what that does for us. So we're going to change this 5 right here to a 6. Okay, then we're going to save it. But yeah, the sniper rifles in this game, well, I'll show you. I'll add them in some and all that. The sniper rifles are absolutely shit. I'm sorry. Sorry, early on. I'm just being honest with you. You want me to lie to you? It's like there was no research done or something. I don't know, and it was like the models in this game, for the most part, to me, feel like they were backseat of the bus. Now, the game, beautiful, awesome concept. Let's make that 6. Let's make that 6 a 0.5 because I think we're raising up instead of down. I think that's what's happening. So let's make that a 0. All right, let's try that. And you may be seeing exactly what it's doing better than I can, even though I'm looking at a 65-inch monitor. My monitor, before my mom passed away, about a year or so before my mom passed away, I had bought her a new TV for her birthday. And in return, she gave me this TV that I now use as a monitor, and it's a 68 or 65-inch high definition TV, you know, so works good. All right. Yep, that's exactly what we were doing. We were going up. All right, so now let's bring that one. Let's bring that down to a 3. Let's bring that up to a 4. That should get us really, really close, if not right on point. It's easier when you're using the 3 number system in the movement and stuff like that versus 2, because you can break it down to even finer movement detail. Make sense? Maybe? Yes? And we are definitely not trying to make our weapons look like any 7 Days to Die. Alright. So now we need to swing the 14 back to a we need to put that back at a 3. Okay. And then let's go ahead and try that, see what that looks like. Folks, we're going to get it today. We are going to get it today. Now that we are no longer airing out because somebody made a mistake. And this is the process that your mod creators for Reforged Eden 2 and Astra, they go through all this in the background. Beautiful. So now okay, so now we need to switch it to the 3 number system. So what we're going to do, let's bring that down to a 16 and see what that does real quick. And then we'll convert this into 3 numbers behind the decimal. When you do that, you absolutely have more finite control over, a more detailed control over it. Because now you damn near get into pixels. Start getting into pixel movement when you get into 4, 5, or 6 numbers after the decimal. And yes, you'll be able to tell the difference very slowly but surely. But now we are just fine tuning this lovely beast now. All right, so we put that down at a 7. All right, now I think, guys, I think we just need to rotate the tip of the barrel around just a little bit. I think it's what we need to do now. Do y'all remember which number that was on the rotation? I don't either. Let's make that a 0, 3. Save that, and then see what that does. Because I think we just about have this lovely beast where we want it now, for all intents and purposes. I mean, we're absolutely a lot closer than what we was when we started out 100 times ago. All right, let's go ahead and get a sip of that Irish sweet cream real quick. That's good stuff. I think that done something. I think that did do something. So let's take that 0.3. Let's make that a 0.6 and see what that does. I think we're getting somewhere, guys. I think we are getting somewhere. Because our left and right and our elevation looks like it's really good looking right there with our elevation and our left and right. Because remember, we're aiming down the sights, so it's going to be fairly up close and in your face like that. Because you're literally putting it in front of your face and aiming down the sights. So that's what it's going to look like almost in real life. Oh yeah, I think yes, I think it's moving it where we need to do. So let's go ahead and move that from a 6 to, let's take it to a 1, 0. Let's do that. All right, let's do that and see what that does. And I think that's basically all we need to do. So now 1, 0. So now we can go to 0, 9, 0, 8, so forth and so on like that, and we can slowly increment it back if we need to. Make sense? Makes perfect sense. All right. Let's go to 1, 5 and see what that does. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go to 1, 7 and see what that does. Because I think that's really all that's matter now is our rotation is just a little off, and now we're just fine tuning that. That's what I'm thinking is going on here. But we're looking at it, we're testing in it, we're trial and error in it. So all right, we're going to get very aggressive with it because I got to know. We're going to get very aggressive with it, okay? Let's take that to a 3, 7, okay? Like I said, because I got to know, because it looks like it might be changing it, but then I can't quite see whether it is enough. So we're going to get aggressive with it and see if it is, in fact, changing it, and then we'll just keep stepping it up, or in this case, we'll step it back down. But when we get aggressive with the numbers, then we can see the dramatic change of what's going on with the weapon, so forth and so on. Okay, and that's what we're doing. So I'm not sure where that went, and we might not be adjusting the right thing. So let's change our strategy up a little bit, and then let's adjust another number. Okay, let's adjust this to 0, 5, and let's see what that does. Because obviously we played with this one, and we got stupid aggressive with it, and we didn't see no change. Well, none that I could tell off just by looking at it. So let's change another number and see what that does. Let's see if that gives us where we need to be. And like I said, guys, this is all about experimentation, trial, error. This is just the nature of the beast, you know. So if you want to get into modding, this is just part of the game right here. And you got to definitely have some degree of patience. Otherwise, if you don't, you're absolutely going to get frustrated. All right, so did that do anything? All right, so let's get more aggressive with that number and see what that number does for us. Actually, you know what? Let's take this into a 5 right here. Let's see what that number does real quick. While we're let's see what that number does for us real quick. Because we might have to end up adjusting all three numbers at the same time to go where we're wanting to go with this platform. And sometimes that is a thing too. You can adjust one number, but then you have to adjust another number, then you have to adjust another number. I run into this. If you look at my Sins of the Solar Empire 2 modding videos, you'll see exactly what those numbers. It almost looks like it rotated the rear of the weapon. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back up to here. We're going to make that a 4, which if you remember correctly, it moved it from right to left. And we're going to go ahead and save that, and we're going to go ahead and load that up. Now, if we've done this correctly, it'll put the barrel closer to the crosshairs, and then we'll just finagle with the rotation numbers more and stuff like that. We might have to take the left and right to the 3-number system, which that's fine too. All right, so we've got it. That's what it is. All right, so now let's rotate these numbers right here. Let's take that back to a 0. Let's take that back to a 1. Let's take that back to a 2. Okay, that should put us really stupid close right on. Okay, now that we've got it kind of figured out, because if you looked, the barrel was right up under the crosshairs, the front sight post of the barrel. So now we just needed to rotate the firearm, the stock of the firearm back to the right. All right, so I think this is going to be our far left number is what I think this is going to be. No. Let's make that a 0 and make that a 1. Okay. All right, now let's take that 1, and we're really going to get aggressive with it. We're going to start putting whole numbers instead of fractions, tenths, and stuff like that. All right, we're going to make this a 1 now, and we're going to see what that does. Because remember, 1.0 is actually 99 over here. Okay, when you go through the three numbers equation, it's 999 with one more 0.0 whatever. It makes it a whole number to the left. Okay, the reason we went with a 1 is because we're going to see either the front of the weapon's going to swing left and right in our face, or it's going to go up and down or something, and we want to know exactly what numbers we need to be fooling with, and that's why we're aggressive with it. And this is just part of the game, guys, because we might have to go negative. You know, we might be going the wrong way. Okay, let's take that to a... Let's get a little bit more aggressive with it and see what's what. Let's take that to a 3. We're getting stupid with it now, guys. Absolutely stupid with it now. So it's up, over. Okay. All right. Now, how stupid does it go? Does it almost looks like it's tilting it forward? What do y'all think? That's exactly what it's doing. It's tilting it forward. Okay. Okay. So we can go ahead and zero those numbers back out now. We're going to take those to a 0. The 1 is fine. So let's go ahead and make that a pronounced 3. That should make it left or right then. Or it may be that number, because I don't remember exactly which number it is. So we got to, and the more we do this, the more we will absolutely, it'll be imprinted in our mind which numbers does which and stuff like that. So the more we do this, the easier it gets for us. Let me get a sip of this coffee real quick. Now you know why I made a pot of coffee. Good. All right. All right. So what that did is that rotated the whole platform itself counterclockwise. Okay. Okay. So now we can zero that number back out. Okay. Because now that rotates the whole weapon counterclockwise. So let's make this right here a 3 now and see what that does. And like I said, we might have to move a couple of these numbers all together. If you remember, and a lot of times, like I said, if you go back and look at my Sins of the Solar Empire 2 video, you'll see that I had to do that because of how the rotation and stuff like that is in the model program, and I was using Blender, if I'm not mistaken. So, go away. There you go. It's my GeForce thingy. All right. Okay, I think we got it. All right, let's change that to a -3. That should swap it to the other side instead of to the left. So I think I'm going to have to move this number and this number right here together with each other. That's what I'm thinking. So we're going to find out. we're going to continue experimenting because we're not going to end the stream until we get this figured out. Because we're all in it for 2 hours and 16 minutes. So we're going to absolutely figure it out. That way you know how to do it on yours. And those that's just coming into the stream, they have an idea of how this stuff works. All right, so now let's go ahead and take what is it? This one right here. Let's take that back down to 13. Okay. So it's the middle number that rotates it on the I'm not sure if it's the X, Y, or Z plane, but it's flat and it rotates it clockwise and counterclockwise, flat. So that's going to be the middle set of numbers on the rotation factor, because you have X, Y, Z factor. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make this a 2.5. Okay. We're not going to get too aggressive with it now. Now we're starting to back it down a little bit and making micro adjustments, and hopefully we'll get it to where we need to get it. So between the moving left and right and then the rotation, we'll get it set to where we need to do, because we have the up and down and then the roll left and right. It's like pitch, yaw, and roll type deal. Same concept, but just with numbers and stuff. So when you build your SV, you absolutely do this. All right, so now let's go ahead and give it another. Let's take it down to point. We're at 2.5. Let's take it down to 2.1. Okay. We'll get it there. We'll get it there, guys. Appreciate your patience. All right, now let's take it down to 1.7. Okay. We can go ahead and probably zero that out. Looking better, looking better. So let's go ahead and take that to a 1.3. Okay. Yep, let's go 1.3. So now we're micro adjusting it now, and if you notice, the barrel keeps getting closer and closer to being dead center under the crosshairs. And that's what we're looking for right there. And we won't know that we got there until we get there. And you'll see it. It's obvious. You will absolutely see it. So, but yep. Look at there. Look at there. See? There you go. There you go. I call that looking good, guys. What do y'all think? Yeah? That's what I call looking good. Now, what we can do is we can bring it closer to us a little bit. So let's find out which button does that. I think it was the far left is what done that. I think it was this one right here. Let's make that a 2-6, and we'll see. It either will bring it closer or further away from us. One of the two, I think. I say that. It might flip it completely upside down for all I know. I'm just saying. Just saying. We're going to find out. Now, keep in mind, the Z-Racks have weapons, and the regular NPCs have weapons in this game, too. Alright, so that's a little too close. Alright, so I don't even remember what that number was. What was that number? We'll find out here in just a second. So that was Control Z. Control Z. Alright, that was a 1-6. So let's make that an 8. 2-6 is way too stupidly close. Alright. I think that's gonna be, guys, I think we pretty much got it for the most part. I think we have it. Okay, we'll check it out. We'll run, jump, whatever, and all that stuff and check it out. Probably have to make us some more bullets, but you know, it is what it is. Oh yeah, what do you think? Yep. I just a smidget more on the rotation to the right. Which the rotation, let's make that a 2. And I think we're good. I absolutely think that we're at. I noticed it just a bit still off on the thing, but either which way, the weapon's still going to fire where the crosshair is. But you know, we want it to look good. You know what I'm saying? So I think, for the most part, guys, I think we are absolutely where we need to be on this. It was only an hour and 25 minutes worth of work to get us there, but hey, welcome to modding, folks. Perfect. All right. Oh, we're Gucci. Yep, we're good. We're running, our weapons out of our way. When we're running, we can aim down while running. There you go, guys. Oh, we're out of bullets. All right, so there you go, guys. We are absolutely... Oh, that was interesting. That was absolutely interesting. So, do we have a setting for jumping? Recoil location. Running. Oh, well, you know, not everything's perfect, but there you go, guys. There is that right there. Now, we are going to, we're going to load back it again because we need to get a name for something real quick. Okay. Because I did promise y'all that I would do this, especially if we had enough time. Alright, item menu. H. Oh, and I'm also going to take that and that, and I'm going to show you how to make a set of binoculars too. Alright, what are we missing here? What are we missing? What are we looking for, Chief? Give me just a second, guys. I'll get my life sorted out here in a minute. I'll take you how to I'll teach you how to take a set of these and make right now they're just night vision goggles, see, but I'll teach you how to make a set of regular goggles where you can actually zoom in. Alright, let's see what nope, it's not that one. It's not that one. It is that one. Okay, so that is, you are this little guy right here. Texture and color tool. Texture and color tool. Okay. Beautiful. Nope. We don't want to look back at the game. Control fine. Interesting. That's what we're looking for right there, guys. We're going to copy that bad boy. Okay. Let's go backwards. And we're going to shift 3, comment that out, and then we're going to come in and we're going to copy and paste that. Okay. Then we're going to enter custom icon in Notepad++. Absolutely select it. Colon. space, and then we're going to call this color texture tool. Okay. Then we're going to save it. Okay, and what that did is that should have changed our survival tool from the, basically moved some meshes and models around and stuff like that, and I'll show you here in just a second. And I absolutely implore you to do this, especially you can do this with block configurations too, like the big old huge gargantuan drone base thing. You can absolutely make that a console or whatever. See, look at there. Okay, right there. Okay, now it's not perfect just yet because we haven't gotten that far on the whole deal and all that stuff. So, but you know, it's a start. So we changed that mesh, and we're going to change the hole type to was it a pistol? Remember I told you about that? Okay, so now let's go back in here. Because that is kind of like a pistol. See? Now, for whatever reason, when you do this, it doesn't do the whole laser deal. So what I have found out is what I done on one of my other mods. Give me just a second. I gotta find it. Come on. What I ended up having to do is I had to come find this right here from another tablet's going off. I had to come grab that from another file. Well, I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, there we go, survival tool. And I had to come place it right under here. Okay. Okay. I had to do that. Okay. Same thing right here under the defense mode. Under the salvage mode, same thing. Okay. That's what I end up having to do. And you can change that to whatever color you want, but for all intents and purposes, you know, this is what I ended up having to do. And then I had to adjust the whole firing, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why when you change the model, it changes the whole deal or whatever and all that stuff. Don't know why. It just does. If you notice our icon isn't there, that's okay. See? You know, it gives you a little tracer. you know, a little tracer thingy, so that you can see, you know, where you're shooting at. And that, guys, is the best that I was able to do on that. Unfortunately, that was just the best that I was able to do on that. Okay, now let's go ahead and fix our icon. Let's go back into our, let's see, bullets, rate of fire. Let's put that a 5 or a 1.5 rate of fire, 1.25 defense mode. We didn't try that one. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and change all that stuff while we're here. Rate of fire. Basically put them all on the same thing. All right. Now let's go ahead and find our color tool back again. All right. Now, texture color tool. Okay. That's what we're looking for. All right. All right. Now, our icon right here. Nope, that's the pistol shit. My bad. Ah, there we go. All right, custom icon. There we go. Now that should fix our icon right there, guys. We're going to see. Okay. That should fix our icon right there. Because that's one thing that whenever I first, like I said, I was one of the original way back in time. I'll tell you just how old I am. When this game came out, I was one of the original beta testers, and I always had the problem with that survival tool looking like a Vasper. So we kind of somewhat got our thingy fixed and all that stuff. Okay. Oh, let's turn on some light. So we got our little laser fixed. Let's try a little, see our little defense thing. So it's got a little bit of thing, and that's what our laser looks like too. Our drill laser thingies also, you know. And like I said, I don't know why, and why is our survival tool thingy look like that? Okay, well, let's go back to and change it to texture tool. Let's just change it to texture tool and see if that fixes it. Okay. Now let's just do that and see what that does for us. That should fix our icon. One of the two should fix our icon down there in our toolbar. YouTube is over there wigging out, guys. Saying, hey, we ain't blah, 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 blah. No worries. But we will actually sort our icon out for our little texture tool thingy. There you go. So it's got that texture tool on it, which is not really what I had in mind per se, because if you look over here, let's go over here. this little guy right here looks more closer to the survival tool than the actual thing. So we might look at the detector. Detector is a little different, and put that icon in there for the detector to make it look more closer to that. And then once we get all that done, we'll go ahead and end the stream here. So Control F for find. Detector. Is it ER? I know it's under radar suit tier 1, I think is what it is. Alright, night vision. Alright. Detector tool. Okay. Now let's go back up here to our survival tool. Reverse. It's literally, it's what it is. It's a radar suit detector. So let's go ahead and change that to that bad boy right there. Okay. That should change our icon to the detector, which is more closely looking to what we just changed our detector tool to. Okay, good talk, good talk. We're fixing to find out. Otherwise, I'll have to go back through there and find the actual correct icon. And you learn these little things, you know. Okay, so that's not the correct name for it. And it'll let you know if it's not the correct name, because it'll absolutely say, nope, denied. Alright, so let's go ahead and there we go. We'll go ahead and copy that over here. And then we'll go back forward. Detector tool, let's look at radar suit tier 1. Let's do that. Okay. And backwards. Right there. Let's put this little bad boy in right there. And now we're going to control save. No, control find dummy. Control S to save. Rookie mistakes. Alright, that should be the icon right there. Normally I throw it over here in the notes section, but I hadn't done that today. So let's go ahead and load that up and see what that does for us. Alright, there we go. See? So now we got our little miner thingy. You know, it's got a little laser beam ever so often. Okay. And you know what? Let's change that rate of fire. Let's make that rate of fire a little faster. Just because we can. Alright, so rate of fire. That's gonna be right here. Let's make that 0.5. 0.5. Okay. And then right here, this is the last one, 0.5. It should make the little laser beam a little bit more pronounced. Okay, defense mode, damage. Now we're fine with that. All right, now let's go ahead and save that, and let's test this one more again. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it after this last test right here, folks, because I've been at this for 2 hours and 47 minutes, and I'm tired. And the boy, he's wanting to go outside. We don't say that word around here. Oh my gosh, he's looking at me now. He's staring at me crazy. Give me a minute, man. he's facing the freaking wall. Oh my God, he's facing the wall, pouting. All right, so there's our thing. So it gives it more of a pronounced little laser beam. Okay. Yep. Yep. So it's more of a pronounced laser beam. Let's go over here and stick it to this and see what it does. Real quick. Yep, there you go. So that's how you can fix if your laser ain't lasering. That's the only way that I have found to fix it, guys. So I do apologize for that. But there you go. We changed some things around. We learned how to bring in excuse me, we learned how to bring in a weapon with a vanilla base game weapon. We learned how to the different type of hold positions. We learned how to bring it into where you can aim down the sights and all that stuff. So guys, we're going to go ahead and end that stream here. And if you have any questions, guys, don't hesitate one iota to ask in the comments below. Place them in the comments below this video. And if you want, there should be a link to my Discord. Join my Discord. There is actually a help section in there. And if you ask questions about EGS, if you don't ask them on my comment section of my YouTube video, you can definitely go to my Discord and ask and stuff like that. If you ask questions that involves the modding, I will absolutely come out and address that in the next episode. But guys, as always, happy gaming, and I will catch you in the next stream. And good luck with your modding, and we'll see you next time.